So we're going to do a few examples from chapter 10 here, and I'm just going to share my entire screen with you. So share content. All right, so we're going to start with 10A, and we've just spoken about algebra in which you basically have letters that represent numbers. So we're continuing on with that idea and talking about equations. So what is an equation? Well, you're going to learn all about it in this lesson. I want you to understand the difference between an equation and an expression. I want you to be able to determine if an equation is true or false. And I want you to be able to write an equation given an English description. So we're going to go through some examples together. Some important points. This is what I want you to write down. An expression is what we've been looking at so far. So an expression just has pronumerals, numbers, and operators, so multiplication, division, etc., without an equal sign. So 2x plus 3 is an example of an expression. An equation is actually a mathematical statement where we are stating that two expressions are equal. So for example, 2x plus 3 equals 4y minus 2. So each one of these is actually an expression. So when we're saying two expressions and we have an equal sign between them, that's when it becomes an equation. An equation has a left-hand side and a right-hand side because it allows us, by having a left-hand side and right-hand side, to communicate about the equation. So left-hand side obviously on the left, right-hand side on the right. Some important ideas. First of all, equations are mathematical statements. They can either be true or false. So for example, 2 plus 3 equals 5 is an equation that is true, whereas 5 plus 7 equals 21, that's false. If we have letters, so pronumerals in the equation, you'll first need to substitute it for a value to work out whether the equation is true. So for example here, 3x equals 12 would be true if 4 is substituted for x. Because remember, 3x is 3 times x equals 12. It's like 3 times there, but it's not. So 3 times 4 equals 12. But it would be false if 10 was substituted, because then it would be 3 times 10 equals 12, which we know is false because 3 times 10 is equal to 30. So we're going to do some examples here. Which of the following are equations? And basically for that, all you're looking for is two expressions and an equal sign between. So we've got the equal sign in this example, this one and this one, making those three equations, and the other ones, expressions. For each of the following equations, work out whether it is true or false. So we simply need to solve and see if they equal each other. Let's do the first one as an example. I'm going to copy this into Word because it will make it a lot easier to actually work it out. Oh, actually, I can do it in PowerPoint. Okay, so for part A, 7 plus 5 equals 12 is true because 7 plus 5 does equal 12. Okay, B, 5 plus 3 equals 2 times 4. Well, let's work that out. 5 plus 3 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So that is true. For part C, 12 times 2 minus 1. So we'll do the brackets first. So 12 times 1 is 12. So 12, does that equal 14 plus 5 is 19? No, so it's false. Part D, 3 plus 9x. So 3 plus 9x equals 60 plus 6. First of all, 60 plus 6 is 66, so we can make that comparison. And 3 plus 9x, x is equal to 7. So 9 times 7, all right, and we've got 63 plus 3 is 66. So the next one is actually true. Part E, 10 plus b equals 3b plus 1 if b is equal to 4. Let's do that. So 10 plus 4, I'm just going to substitute straight away here. 10 plus 4 equals 3 times 4 plus 1. So 10 plus 4 is 14. 14, and that's 12 plus 1 is 13. Close, but false. F, we're going to simply do the same thing. 3 plus 2x equals 21 minus y. And now what we're doing is we're replacing the x with 5, and we're replacing the y with 8. So 21 minus 8 is 13. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13, and that is true. So it should be true, true, false, true, false, true, 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 false, true, false, true. They were just the answers that I've gotten from the back of my book because I'm modeling self-correcting. The next one, we've actually got writing equations for the following scenarios. Now, with this one, what you're wanting is to basically, you don't need to solve them. You've just got to write an equation. So it needs to have an equal sign. So it's saying the sum of x and 5, we know sum is plus. Got that? Write that down. So sum of x and 5, so that's x plus 5, is 22. So equals 22. Part B, the number of cards in a deck is x. 7 decks, there are 91 cards. So that will be x times, I'm going to actually insert the times symbol there. See if it looks different. It looks slightly different. X times 7 equals 91. They're getting harder. Okay. Prior's age is currently J years. Okay. So Prior's age is currently J years. In 5 years' time, her age will equal 17. So her age is currently J. In 5 years' time, it means it'll be J plus 5 equals 17. Okay. Now, for the last one, it might actually be easier if I write on it, actually. So for the last one, we've got Corey earns W dollars per year. He spends 1/12 of it on sport and 2/13 of it on food. the total amount he spends on sport and food is equal to 15,000 dollars. Wow. Okay, so Corey earns W per year, spends a 12th of W. So that'll be W over 12, or you could do W times 1 over 12, either way, equals 2 over 13. Sorry, plus 2W over 13. Another way you might want to write this out is W times 1 over 12 plus W times 2 over 13 equals 1500. Okay, let's keep moving. So here are the questions. I'd like you to do these from your textbook or these extension ones, depending on if you would like to take on those extension. Let's go back to the learning intention and success criteria now. Understanding the difference between an equation and an expression. So the equation has the equal sign and then one expression on either side, whereas the expression are just the pronumerals and the numbers and the operations. We want to determine if an equation is true or false. So if they actually equal each other, they'll be true. Like, for example, 2 plus 5 equals 7 is a true equation. But, you know, 2 plus 3 equals 7 is a false equation. We want to be able to write an equation giving an English description. So we just went through that in the last example. Like, my cat is now, you know, Y years old. How old was he 4 years ago? Y minus 4 equals, let's say he was 4 years ago. That means he is 6 now. All right, so I hope that that was understandable for you.